The story begins inside a quiet interrogation room. A man named Hutch sits on a chair, looking bruised and battered, his clothes slightly torn and face marked by a recent fight. Beside him sits a calm dog, wagging its tail as if nothing serious had happened. Two government agents walk into the room. One of them finally asks the big question, "Who are you?" Before we hear his answer, the story moves back to an earlier time. Some time before this moment, Hutch Mansell had gone back to his old life, the life he thought he had left behind forever. He was once an assassin, a skilled killer who worked in the shadows. Now, he had started taking on contracts again, not because he wanted to, but because he owed a debt. Years ago, Hutch had destroyed something called the Obshak, a huge amount of Russian mafia money. Because of this, he owed them big. To pay off this debt, Hutch had been working for a man known only as the barber, who sends him jobs to settle his score. But this dangerous work comes with a heavy price. The more jobs Hutch takes, the more distant he becomes from his family. His wife, Becca, feels the gap between them growing wider, and his kids, Brady and Sammy, don't see him like they used to. Hutch knows this. He feels the weight of it every day. Deep down, he wants to fix things, but his violent past won't let go of him so easily. One day, Hutch sees an advertisement for a small summer town called Plumberville. It's a nostalgic place for him because, as a child, his father David used to take him and his brother Harry there during summer breaks. With the school holidays coming up, Hutch decides this is his chance. He convinces Becca and the kids to go on a family trip to Plumberville. He promises Becca one important thing. He will keep his work life completely away from this vacation. No killing, no fighting, no trouble. Just family time. Hutch even tells the barber that he needs a break before taking on the next job. With plans set, the family gets ready for their trip. They also pick up David from his retirement home so he can join them. The old man, sharp and feisty despite his age, is happy to tag along. Soon, they all hit the road together. After arriving in Plumberville, they settle into their hotel. The kids get their rooms, and Hutch and Becca finally share a quiet moment together. They drink wine in their room, trying to reconnect after being distant for so long. Feels good like old times. The next day, the family plans to visit the water park. But when they get there, they learn it's closed due to an incident. To make up for the disappointment, the staff gives them hot dog coupons. So Hutch takes everyone to a local diner for lunch. While they're eating, Hutch notices something. He's getting some unwanted attention from the local sheriff, a man named Abel. The reason? Hutch is talking fondly about the old days when he visited this town with his father and brother, and Abel seems suspicious of outsiders. Trying to keep the day fun, the family decides to visit the arcade since they got free passes. At the arcade, Hutch tries to talk to his son Brady. Brady recently got a black eye, which everyone assumed happened during football practice, but Hutch senses it might be from a fight. While hanging out, Brady catches the attention of a couple of local girls. Feeling bold, he gives them some of his game tickets and then uses others to buy a prize for his little sister, Sammy. But trouble arrives in the form of Max, one of the girls' boyfriends. Max doesn't like Brady talking to his girlfriend. He confronts Brady and then rips Sammy's prize in half. That's the wrong move. Brady doesn't back down. He punches Max in the face and twists his arm painfully, showing that he knows how to fight. Before things get worse, Hutch steps in to break it up. The arcade staff also intervenes, and the family is told to leave. As they walk out, but one of the arcade employees slaps her hand away. That's the breaking point for Hutch. At first, he tries to control himself for Becca's sake. But a second later, his rage explodes. Hutch storms back inside and beats the living daylights out of the staff member, plus another coworker and a random guy who tries to act like a hero. The fight is brutal and fast. Hutch makes it clear he's not a man to mess with. Later, Hutch and Brady find themselves at the police station. Sheriff Abel is there, ready to grill Hutch. That's when Hutch meets Wyatt Martin, Max's father. Wyatt is also the owner of the Plumberville theme park. He's furious because Brady hurt Max's pitching arm, which is important for his sports career. Wyatt gives Hutch an ultimatum. Take your family and get out of town immediately. Hutch agrees, but as soon as Wyatt leaves, Abel reveals his true colors. He orders his men to get rid of Hutch. The next day, Hutch takes his family on a duck boat ride. But he notices something. Abel's goons are following them. Hutch makes a quick decision. He lets Becca, David, and the kids take one boat while he hops on another, luring the goons away. Hutch tries to talk them down, but they want blood. They attack. Hutch fights back like a beast, taking them all on despite losing a finger during the struggle. Even after getting tossed off the boat, Hutch climbs back and destroys them. One thug later calls Abel from a hospital bed, missing teeth, just to report that Hutch is still alive. Hutch knows things are about to get worse. He calls his brother Harry for backup and then contacts the barber for information. The barber reveals a dark secret. Plumberville is not the peaceful summer town it seems. It's a hub for drug trafficking and bootlegging, all controlled by a ruthless woman named Lendina. She's cold, violent, and psychotic. The story shifts to Lendina's casino, where she plays poker with a man. When she realizes he's cheating, she kills him, the dealer, and every single witness without hesitation. That's the kind of monster Hutch is about to face. The barber warns him, "Don't piss off Lendina." Meanwhile, Wyatt's backstory comes to light. He works for Lendina because she killed his father and forced him into debt. Wyatt wants out, but Lendina owns him completely. Abel is also in her pocket. After speaking with Wyatt, Lendina calls Abel and orders him to keep Wyatt under control by taking something valuable from him. Abel chooses to kidnap Max. Hutch soon discovers Abel and his men in a warehouse, sitting on a mountain of cash meant for Lendina. Hutch walks in, pours gasoline on the money, and threatens to burn it unless Abel backs off. Abel agrees, but then Hutch sees Max being dragged away. He leaves for a moment but comes back like a storm. What follows is pure chaos. Hutch kills everyone in sight with brutal creativity. One thug tries to kill him with a table saw. Hutch pushes the man's head onto the blade. Blood everywhere. When the dust settles, only Abel is alive. Barely. Hutch rescues Max and shoots out the lights, igniting the gasoline. The warehouse explodes in a massive fireball as Hutch drives away. When Lendina finds out, she's furious. All her money is gone. Her men bring her pictures of Hutch and his family. Abel, horribly burned but alive, calls her and begs for help. Instead, Lendina declares war on Hutch and the Mansells. She gathers her army and sets out for blood. Knowing the storm is coming, Hutch moves his family to a lodge for safety. He asks his dad David to take Becca and the kids there. Hutch also brings Max to keep him safe. Before leaving, Hutch admits to Becca that he broke his promise. He suggests she leave him for her own protection. Becca says nothing, but her eyes say everything. Hutch then finds Wyatt, who's drunk and raging about Max. At first, Wyatt attacks Hutch, but after learning Max is safe, he calms down. Hutch explains everything. Wyatt, who despises Lendina, shows Hutch his father's secret stash of weapons. Together, they come up with a plan. They will turn the entire theme park into a war zone. With help from David and Harry, they set traps everywhere. Mines in the ball pits, grenades hanging from ropes, and countless booby traps. Meanwhile, Becca secretly grabs a rifle and heads out, leaving Brady in charge at the lodge. The showdown begins. Lendina arrives with a small army of killers. She also sends her top henchman, Cartouche, to the lodge to wipe out Hutch's family. At the lodge, Brady fights bravely while Max hides with Sammy. Just when things look bad, Harry appears like a samurai warrior, slicing through goons with his katana. He faces off against Cartouche in a deadly duel and decapitates him after an intense fight. At the theme park, chaos explodes. Lendina's men fall into every trap. Mines blast them into pieces, grenades swing into their faces, and bullets fly everywhere. Hutch fights like a demon, but eventually he and Wyatt get overpowered. Lendina steps in, ready to finish Hutch herself. But before she can, Wyatt kills one of her henchmen. That man's partner tries to avenge her, but gets shot too. Lendina aims at Hutch, but suddenly, Becca appears like an angel of death. She shoots Lendina in the chest and eye with tranquilizer darts. Furious and wounded, Lendina charges forward, but then the final wave of explosions goes off. David triggers the last set of bombs. Fire consumes the entire park. Hutch and Becca dive into a pool as flames roar around them. Lendina dies smiling, burned to ashes with her men. The story returns to the interrogation room. Hutch sits calmly with his dog while agents demand answers. Suddenly, their phone rings. Their boss orders them to release Hutch immediately. The agents have no choice but to let him go. Later, the Mansells are back home, watching a slideshow of happy family photos from their trip. Wyatt and Max appear in the pictures too, now part of their circle. Brady even has a girlfriend now. Hutch smiles quietly, finally at peace, for now.